everybody, and welcome back to another daily dose of internet. What was that? Why did I say it like that?
I have no idea.
Hello, everybody.
No
Welcome back
idea.
to
I thought you were
your
talking
daily
about my
dose
water
of
bottle.
trifles and tribulations. So you're on the car, right? Like, where are you driving from? Are you from the hotel back home?
No, no. I'm driving from my work site, which
Oh,
was
okay.
3 hours away.
Gotcha. So you just had a normal work day today.
If you call a 13-hour day a normal work day, then yes.
Well, I usually have 10 to 11 hour work days, but
Good point. Good point. Are five of those driving?
no.
Mine are.
Okay, so I guess I do more work than you, but less commuting.
Yes.
It's about 15 minutes for me.
I work about 3 to 4 hours of every day.
Okay.
And most people would think, wow, that's awesome. You do so little work. And then I say, yeah, but then I drive for 5 hours in Los Angeles traffic.
And also, those 3 hours are so jam packed, you wish it was eight.
Yes. Let's put
Absolutely.
it this way. I have to drive so slow because the traffic is so bad that I really shouldn't be, but do play Hearthstone matches.
Oh dear, that is
It's that
horrible.
slow. It's
My work days
horrible.
are
Oh,
usually pretty lax because I do general custodial duties, cleaning and repairing and, stocking the bathrooms, all that nonsense. So it is relatively light work most of the time, except for the occasional times where you need to move a couch for some reason.
yeah,
Because there wasn't a couch yesterday, but now there's a couch in there and they don't want it anymore.
I see.
And it's just me as the labor force basically because my dad does paperwork and whatnot and he'll show up or
Yeah,
whatever, but I'm basically the only one that is really expected to do any heavy lifting. I'm not saying that my dad can't, but he is trying to get to that position where he doesn't want to just show up and do whatever. He's trying
yeah,
to get to that managerial position, so yeah.
yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Anywho, not to spend too much time complaining about how our first country lives are so much better than everyone else, and oh my goodness, I have to work so much and make so much money.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's totally talk about what we spend that money on.
Yes. Like,
TwitchCon.
oh, do you want to touch on that real quick?
Ah, why not?
All
I mean,
right,
it's
go
the first
ahead.
week after it. That's what everyone's doing today, doing
Mm-hmm.
these days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so yeah, I just got back from TwitchCon. I was there this weekend. It was me, my mod Serene, and my good friend Eriko.
Mm-hmm.
And we all went to Vegas. And it was awesome and also incredibly exhausting. There is So I don't understand why, because I used to live in Vegas. I know the area. But for whatever reason, Vegas decided it would be a really great idea to hold a Grand Prix on the Strip.
Oh no,
So
because
by
it's not crowded
doing this,
enough.
yeah, so by doing this, they've closed down half the fucking roads going into the Strip so that they can start construction on all of the bleachers they have to place on the Strip. And so there's a lot of roads that it would be great if they were open, but they're not because there's bleachers just sitting there waiting to be moved into position. And so there was a lot of walking that I did not appreciate.
Road construction is one of those magical places. It makes you feel like you're going through the Bermuda Triangle because it's so
Yeah.
strange and obscure to try and observe what's going on because you never do any of this stuff. You have no idea what's going on. So it's just strange
Yeah.
trying to figure out what they're doing, and usually they're not doing anything. It looks like an old abandoned site
Yep.
where there's just like machinery that looks like it hasn't moved for years and
Yeah. And especially at night.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Especially at night.
There's this great joke of this road crew goes out to work on a road, and they realize that they don't have any shovels. So they call in
Hmm.
dispatch and ask if they can send out any shovels. And they said, okay, we'll be there as soon as possible. Do you think they could lean on the trucks until the shovels get there?
Hmm. God damn it. That's funny.
Yeah. It's funny
Now we know
because
why
it's
they're always leaning on trucks.
because there's not enough shovels for them to lean on. It's also
Yep.
strange to see something like those flaggers, like the people that just stand there with the signs that say stop or slow, you know?
Yep.
Those people get paid so much per hour to just stand there, and they're not
Oh
even
hell
part of
yeah.
the construction crew. They're a separate business.
Yeah. I mean, you have to pay them a lot. Otherwise, people will say, "Fuck no, I ain't standing in the heat for 8, 9, 10 hours,
I mean,
just
that's the thing.
waving a sign."
I know I couldn't do it because
No.
one, it requires you to communicate with other people, so you couldn't just like stand there and listen to
Yeah.
music or whatever. But I also
Yep.
couldn't stand the weather conditions, mostly the heat,
Nope.
but also just like being in the rain for 9 hours every day or so.
Yeah. And you have to be constantly focused.
Oh yeah.
There ain't no tapping on your cell phone while you're waiting for people to gather.
Mm-mm. No lounging or even really any
Nope.
relaxation because you have to be aware of dumb drivers doing things
Yeah.
and whatnot. But yeah.
I feel like you have to be a very specific kind of person that just really likes to do absolutely nothing to really be able to pull something off like that.
Yeah. I mean, for the
I
most
can't
part,
understand how anybody else could do that job.
people that want to do that are the kind of people that think, oh, I can just zone out or whatever. But no,
Yeah.
you have to actually focus. You have to actually care. So
Yep.
I don't know. I guess it's people that are just really need money, I suppose.
Yeah. Or just people that can hyper focus like it's nothing.
I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, no, there was hell on earth trying to get around in Vegas because of all that construction. We me and Serene and another VTuber friend we had met there all tried to get to or no, me and Serene tried to get to a party, the Twitch after party. So the party after the first day,
Hmm.
and it was about a 3 mile walk from the con to the party. Or no, not from the con to the party. Sorry, we had to drop off Erico first. So from
Right.
where we dropped off Erico, it was a 3 mile hike from her hotel to the party. So we decided, you know what? Let's try to get an Uber. Uber was a 45-minute wait just to get to us.
Yeah,
It was only a 5-minute drive away.
I would never try to get an Uber or a taxi or whatever
Yeah.
in a crowded city like New York or Las Vegas.
Well,
Absolutely walking. Absolutely.
yeah.
I know it's inconvenient, but it is so much cheaper and faster
Oh
just
yeah.
to walk. It's not worth the trouble.
Well, that was the problem. The Uber would take 45 minutes, and it was only a 5-minute drive. But walking would have taken an hour. But then the thing is that it would have taken the same amount of time either way. And at least if we walked, we don't have to pay.
Yeah.
And the whole reason why was because 3 Ubers canceled on us because there was construction right next to the hotel that we were walking from. So it was
Mm.
really difficult to get to us.
You couldn't get picked up.
Yeah. So we were
That's the
like, you know
other
what?
thing
Let's
I was
walk.
going to say is that depending upon what's happening each and every day, sometimes the time says it's only 5 minutes to drive, but you very well know that could be like half an hour depending upon what roads are closed or whatever.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, so we started walking, and it was hell. It was 3 miles. We were exhausted because we were at the con all day. And at least one shining, funny moment was at one point while we were passing by one of the casinos, a lady just out of nowhere walked up to Serene, handed him a business card, and said, "Hey, you want to get your dick sucked?" It's out of nowhere. It was the most funny fucking thing ever. Easily made the walk. Easily made the walk. But yeah,
So do you have
after
those
about
business cards?
no, he did not take the business card. She tried to hand it to him, and he just walked past it. I should have grabbed one of the business cards.
Yeah, put it up on your wall with the other
Oh,
ribbons you
that would have been
got.
amazing. Uh, but yeah,
Because you
after
know
about
those
two
things
miles
aren't
of walk,
cheap.
oh no, no, they're really not. But yeah, so after 2 miles of walking, we finally got to a point where we realized that we had to cross the freeway, and there was no way to cross the freeway on foot. So even after all of that walking, we still had to call an Uber. The only
Oh
positive was the
no.
Uber was only a third the cost now and only took 7 minutes to get to us because there was no construction by the time we stopped walking.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah. And then we didn't even get drunk at the party because the drinks were too watered down.
Oh, jeez. And I'm sure they're expensive too.
Yeah. But at least on the bright side, the next day we met a VTuber friend who ended up being a really good, really close friend, hung out with us for the rest of the con. And we ended up finding a nice steak place, a nice restaurant that had steak and 3 drinks for $12.
I,
So
I,
that was nice.
when you say it's a nice steak place, do you mean like it's a restaurant that describes itself as a steakhouse, or did they
So
actually have nice steaks?
they had nice steaks. It wasn't like a steakhouse. That's
Okay,
why I
that's a
corrected that.
rarity
Yeah.
because I've never
Mhm.
gone out to a place and gotten a steak that I enjoyed.
Yeah. These were pretty good, and it wasn't that expensive. And they had a deal going on that day where you could get 3 alcoholic drinks for $12.
Okay.
And they had a list of like 45 mixed drinks that you could pick from. So it was actually not bad.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, that was nice. But yeah, a lot of construction. That was kind of annoying. It was incredibly hot. That was incredibly annoying. And you couldn't really walk anywhere, unfortunately. So I I loved the con. Inside the convention was fucking fantastic. But trying to walk around outside the convention was hell on earth. And trying to get anywhere was even worse. So,
And how what the party in and of itself,
yes.
other than like, I know the point is to get drunk and listen to music, but was there like anything else?
So the TwitchCon after party was held at a place called Area 15, which is kind of like an experience place.
Oh,
So
jeez.
they have like well, it was actually pretty fucking amazing. They had 3 or 4 dance rooms where they had different DJs playing. So you had a mixture of music that you could listen to. Each one
Oh,
also had free food that you can pick from. So that was really nice too.
interesting.
So it was catered. And you got 3 free drinks as part of the ticket to actually go in, which is good because normally to enter Area 51 and to get food and to get 3 drinks and to do the events there could easily have cost you like $200 to $300, and it was
Mm.
$100 flat for the ticket. So
Wow.
considering everything you got out of it, it was actually a really good deal. So it
Yeah,
was
that
awesome.
sounds great.
Yeah, and half of the event was a place called Omega Mart, and Omega Mart is basically a cross between a Twilight Zone grocery store with really weird things like. So here are examples of the things in Omega Mart. You have a cleaner called 404 Cleaner. So if you think about that joke, 404 Cleaner, so it's 404 stain not found.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, there's
And then there
different
was,
batches of stuff. Some of the stuff that
yep,
I found recently is 409 cleaner, so
yeah.
it's
Well,
just the
there was
number of
another
batch.
one too. Yeah, and there was another one too called 404 Beauty. Again, 404 Beauty not found. And
Yeah,
that one was a hairspray.
because apparently you need it.
Yes. There were things like oh, what was the other one? There was some sort of avocado French fries. It was literally pieces of avocado cut into French fries and then cooked, like actually deep fried, which is horrifyingly weird.
And this is
there was
at the
something
Kmart?
called, this is at the Omega Mart. So inside Area 51, Area 15 is a place called Omega Mart, and it's basically the weirdest fucking grocery store ever. And it's a small grocery store. It's like the size of a normal convenience store. And
Oh,
there's just
okay.
all of these like weird fucked up items that are on sale, and you can literally take them off the shelf and buy them.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely. Like corner stores, like gas station stores or
Yeah.
whatnot, have some of the strangest stuff. I love it because they're trying to
Yeah.
cater to so much. So basically, like, they have like the food aisle, which is basically like Triscuits, Chef Boyardee,
Yep.
and Doritos.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
Yep.
Oh, and
Yeah.
ramen
This
and
Yeah, but this
Slim
one,
Jims.
this shit was weird. But so what made Omega Mart weird though was not the fact that it was a weird ass fucking grocery store selling things like camels, not Campbell's soup, but Camel's soup.
The cigarettes. Oh,
Yeah, Camel's soup.
what?
And then some of the flavors they had were things like cream of husk.
It. Excuse me?
Yep, cream of husk. And then another flavor was apparently chicken.
Just chicken. Yeah.
No, apparently chicken.
W- w-
Yes.
All right, we're gonna have to do some
Apparently
research and come back to this because I love these off-brand things, but well,
Yeah, these are some of the weirdest fucking things ever. But what made the place so crazy is that there was a place where you can go into one of the freezers, like it was a walk-in beer cave, where you would walk
like
in and they'd have
Costco.
all the, yeah, kind of like Costco, where you'd walk. But here's the thing, though: you walk in and then you see all these drinks to your left and to your right, and then all of a sudden you notice that it just makes a sharp turn, and then it makes another sharp turn, and it starts to wind around, and you're really confused, and all of a sudden you come out of the other side and there's a gigantic fucking escape room. And the escape room is 10 times the size of the actual grocery store.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those freezers are bigger on the inside.
it's way bigger. Apparently, the whole concept of Omega Mart is that you see this little grocery store and it's like, oh, that's so weird. And then you go through this thing and you find an entire fucking story type thing that takes 2 hours to go through, where you find out that Omega Mart is actually run by aliens trying to steal your soul
I mean,
and then package it into
it,
items.
it's the perfect explanation or like description of what everyone like imagines in one of those horror movies of like
Yep.
going to yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I loved every fucking minute of it.
Twilight
really
Zone was
awesome.
like the perfect example.
Yeah. But so at the TwitchCon after party, we didn't really do a whole lot of music and dancing. But there was another party the next day, and this party was a Senpai Squad party brought to you by V Shoujo. There was nothing V Shoujo about this party.
Yo,
The only thing that was V Shoujo about the party was that it was brought to you by V Shoujo. Meaning they probably paid for it and that was it. It was a Senpai Squad party. There was nothing V Shoujo about it. But it was literally a party inside the Hard Rock Cafe, on the top floor of the Hard Rock Cafe, and it was literally just a fucking EDM rave.
oh joy.
It wasn't even a TwitchCon. It wasn't even a TwitchCon thing. It wasn't even a Twitch thing. Half of the people there were scantily clad women who just go to raves. Weren't even there for TwitchCon.
I mean, I guess that's sort of what a rave is about. And
Yeah. Serene literally at one point had to squat down to just take a break from dancing, and literally some woman in just panties and chainmail accidentally smashed her ass into his face, not knowing he was there. So Serene kind of almost got lucky a lot of times on this trip.
Oh,
Completely
geez.
by accident every fucking time. Yeah, that party was fun. That one had some really good DJs. Pretty much danced the whole fucking night. Really enjoyable.
Okay, but like, did you actually dance or was it just like
Actual dancing.
raving, jumping up and down. Okay.
Okay, so when I say dancing, I'm not talking about I grabbed a fucking rose and I did the tango.
Right.
But
No, but
yes,
usually
dancing.
when people go to, a bar or
Yeah,
whatever you want to call it, not like a rave, but whatever.
yeah. They
Usually,
ju- they, they kind of just sway, or maybe they
yeah,
like bob their
well, the
head,
point
or
is to
they
get
jump
drunk
whenever
and
there's
just
like a
enjoy
drop.
music or whatever.
Yeah. No, this I was actually legit dancing.
Yeah.
Like had an actual space where people would stayed away from me so that I could actually dance. Well, it was me and like I think 8 or 9 other people that were all pretty much dancing in this one small little space in the middle of the place where people just kind of backed up a little bit so that they can just kind of bob and sway and listen to the music. It's like, you guys are lame. We're gonna actually dance.
I just don't understand that the whole entire concept of a dance, other than like people want to get drunk and it's an excuse to or whatever. I just don't really understand the point of like going to a
Yeah,
huge empty area for hundreds of people to fill, sweats flying everywhere,
yeah.
music's bumping. Like, why can't you do that, at your own home or like with a group of friends or something? What's the point?
So
Yeah.
I think the main point is kind of like the same point as why some people really love to jog. Like for some people, when you jog, you get like a rush of adrenaline because
It's the
obviously you're
physicality of it.
exercising. And I think that's really all it is. Like when
Oh,
you go to
okay.
a rave and you're dancing and you're enjoying the music and you're moving around a lot, you get that same burst of adrenaline that you kind of would when exercising.
Because it
But
just
unlike with
seems like one of those
exercising
of,
where it feels like work, it's
yeah.
enjoyable.
It's the difference between having an indoor bike, machine and actually going for a bike ride. I understand that there's
Exactly.
a difference.
Yeah.
It seems like to me that a lot of people just go to events because they want to seem like they're, trendy or important, and they're like, I
Oh, hell yeah.
do
I'm
events.
sure a lot of people do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that go to raves for that specific reason. There's a lot of people that go to raves because they just want to get drunk, fuck someone, and then never see them again.
I don't
Right.
like
A
doing
lot of people
stuff
do
just
that.
because it's popular. I don't want to do
Yeah,
something because it's what everyone's doing. I actually want to enjoy something because I want to enjoy something, which has actually ruined a lot of things for me. I wanted
yeah,
to enjoy stuff like, uh, Hunger Games when it came out. Everyone was like, "Oh
yeah,
my goodness, they're only gonna make a movie, but you have to read the books first." And I'm just like, you're just completely ruining this for me. I'm just not gonna read the books.
yeah,
I'm not gonna watch the movies.
yep. Just watch them on your own time.
Yeah.
That's what I do for most shows and series. If there's like some big show or series that comes out, people are all like, "Oh my god, you need to watch it." I'm like, no. But for me, it's not necessarily because it's like I don't want to watch it because they're forcing me to. It's because I don't like watching something that's in progress.
Yes, exactly.
I
I
like to
hate
binge
serials that are
things.
like, tune in next week. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I just want to finish it. Just like, let me
yeah,
watch it on my own time.
exactly. I'm
So
I'm
that,
gonna watch it on my own time, and I'm gonna watch it back to back to back because if I'm watching it weekly, I'm gonna forget shit.
yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be like tune in next time. I'm gonna be like I'm not gonna even remember what happened last week. It's like no, no. Why can't I watch it now?
I mean, that's the biggest problem with like trying to stay in touch with modern media is that if you're not
Yeah,
currently in touch with it, people are just going to spoil it or you just don't get
yeah,
to enjoy it. So I'm just like, I'm completely disconnect, completely tuned out.
yeah. I think what you got to do is you got to do like what I did with Game of Thrones.
Oh, I
Not
haven't even
care,
touched Game of
not pay
Thrones.
attention to it, and then one day you just pick it up and you start watching, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna start watching. And it's like, how has none of this been spoiled for you? It's like I didn't give a fuck about it before,
Well, the
so I just ignored
unfortunate
it all.
thing is that like if you even like anime, things
Yeah,
will just pop up in your reel and I'll just be like scrolling and it'll be like, hey, look at this funny video of a dog, and then the next one is like, can you believe that they gave Aizawa a metal leg? And I'm just like, why on earth would you do that?
I'm so glad I don't follow anything anime
It's My
because
Hero
there are
Academia,
a
but
lot
yeah.
of animes I would like to watch. And Wait, who got a metal leg?
Yeah.
Wait, who got a metal
Aizawa.
leg?
Aizawa, the teacher for the class at 1A for My Hero Academia.
Wait,
Apparently, they
which one
got
was the
into a
teacher?
fight and he lost a leg.
I forgot who the teacher was.
He's like the tired looking guy that's always he climbs into that yellow sleeping bag and falls asleep. His superpower is that when he looks at people, he can turn off their superpower, so his eyes are like really got
That's
like bags
right,
under them.
him. Okay, I remember now.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It's been so fucking long since I've watched that show. Oh my god.
I actually do remember another clip where someone was like, "Oh my goodness, can you believe how badass Aizawa is?" And now I remember what happened to make him lose his leg, but I'm just not gonna say it because I hate spoilers more than anything. So,
Understandable, understandable.
but yeah, he basically pulled off a badass move because everything he does is badass.
Okay,
He's like a modern
so
day ninja.
okay, so we're gonna talk about anime for a moment. The last episode I saw, if I'm correct, was the episode where they had oh, what was it? It was the episode where what's his name? What's his name had finally decided he had to stop using his powers because he's gonna have heart attacks, and
Oh,
um, I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to, but that was like around the last episode I saw, and I could have swore that was or near there was the end of a season. No, actually I think that yeah, that I think that was the end of that season because before that episode, you finally get introduced to the hawk guy, and then finally you get introduced to that big bad guy, and then shit happens, and I think that's the end of that season, and I think that's the last episode I saw.
I don't even think I've seen it because I haven't seen any episodes with the Hawk guy, and his name is Hawk.
Okay.
He's got like wings and he can control the feathers. That's
Okay,
his
so
power.
you haven't seen anything with Hawk yet.
No, I have not.
Got it. Okay.
But you're talking
Here's
about
the
All
thing.
Might, the guy that can like grow into a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have
So
a heart attack. He has like an actual like he took damage. So his heart is bad, but it's not
yeah.
like he's got bad cholesterol.
No. He like literally has heart palpitations and problems when he uses his ability because of the injury.
Yes.
Yeah. And he basically was told you can't use your ability anymore.
Yeah, he's basically he was one of those people that like I will do this until I die, and he
Yeah.
is dying basically.
Literally died. Yeah.
Yep.
So that was about the last season I watched. And I have no idea how many seasons are even after that because I haven't seen it for like 2 to 3 years now.
Yeah. I mean, they
I know I need
release
to
the
watch that.
seasons on YouTube, so whenever a season gets released, I'm like, oh, so that season's done.
Oh. Yeah. I
And
need
I
to catch
and I
up on
have
that.
bought most of the seasons, and I am currently watching it, but I'm watching it at my own pace.
Okay.
I think I have like
Yeah.
season 6 or something, but they seem to go by really fast. I remember, yeah, they like introduce a supervillain, and then they
Like they're
run
only
through
12
it, and
instead
then
of
it
24
ends.
per season.
Oh,
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's why. Because I don't remember how many episodes are per season. For
I
that
just
show.
got past the part with Overhaul.
Okay. Yeah.
When
But
they
yeah,
were doing
I-
their life studies or whatever. I don't
Yep.
know.
I need to catch back up on that. I need to catch back up on Reincarnated as a Slime.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I know
I
I'm-
remember watching that until it was like done, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? There is more, but now I've caught up to it. I thought this was old."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to watch. I'm at the part where they're at the Demon Village. Or he made the Demon Village.
I don't even know what that. I do remember that he like starts off talking to goblins, and then he gives them names, and they get strong or whatever. And then there's
Yeah.
like other people too. I don't know. It's a weird take on
There's-
like the whole fantasy genre, anyways.
Yep.
So.
Which I like. Yeah, he befriends a couple of Oni, and then I think they make a village.
Yes.
And then
Oni,
that's
right.
like the last episode. That's the last season I watched. I think there's at least 1 or 2 seasons now out since then.
The one
But,
thing I will say that I dislike
Mhm.
about it, because this podcast is talking about things we dislike, is that
Yes.
all of the like male characters get changed a little bit, but then all the female characters get instantly turned into just human women with big boobs. I'm just like, seriously? If you're gonna make them more human, make everyone more human. Or if you're gonna make them more feminine, keep them still like as their race, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So
Oh, yeah,
dumb.
that's a good point. So since we're going to talk about things that I dislike, one
Yes.
thing I really dislike is how fucking terrible ReZero got for a long time.
I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look that up real quick.
So ReZero is just like a lot of those isekais. It's one. It used to be one of my absolute favorites, but unfortunately, the problem with ReZero is that it had literally two full fucking seasons of filler.
Oh jeez.
2 seasons of filler,
Oh,
and
I recognize
yeah,
some of these characters now because I see like Rem and Ram or whatever. I
yep,
don't know
Rem and
anything
Ram are
about
from
it other
ReZero.
than I recognize the characters because they're
Yeah,
so popular anime characters.
yep. Yeah, it was such a fucking fantastic show for the first season, and then the second season was like, that's okay, and then the third season was trash, and then the fourth season was even more trash.
When I it and again, this is the common thing, but like if I told you, "Hey, this is a really cool series that I like, but it doesn't get good until season 5." Would you want to watch it with me?
Never,
Would you want to start at season 5?
never.
Okay.
I would never watch it. So a perfect example is Sword Art Online. A lot of people say that Sword Art Online is one of the worst anime around. I don't think it's the worst. I think the first half of the first season is really fucking good.
Yes.
And I think everything after it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And I
Basically, after
refuse
they
to
got to
watch it.
Elfheim Online, I'm like, okay,
Yep.
this is a little strange, but I'll finish the season. And then when they
Yep.
went to bullets,
Gun Gale.
guns online, I'm just like, this is nothing. You're literally just pandering and spreading out a series because it's popular. And then I never watched it anymore after that.
Yeah, my whole problem was I could tell from the get-go it was going to be one of those usual male protagonist is a fucking god. Every female wants to fuck him, but he has no reason to be worth fucking.
But it wasn't
Usual
that.
hair.
It wasn't
Usual
that.
hair.
It was better.
Well, he was just some kid who apparently play tested the game long before everyone else, so he knew everything about the game. There's no such thing as somebody who play tested a beta and knows everything and can do everything. That's not how betas work.
Basically,
Betas
yeah.
are before the game is completed. You
Hmm.
don't know everything about the game. You just know the beta things. And a lot of those
Exactly.
things don't exist anymore in the main
And
game.
also, this isn't spoilers because this is in episode 1.
Exactly. So that's I don't like. I mean, I could tell from the get go that I wasn't gonna like that, but it was okay because the rest of the concept was just really well made.
Hmm.
Like it was a day in the life of somebody in a fantasy world who's just trying to survive while also being an MMO.
Yeah, it actually felt fairly realistic in that sense because you could
Yeah.
got to meet people and like in those real
Hmm.
situations. And of course,
Yep.
there were like people that, were olds that played the game or were young and played the game, and
Yeah.
so they had to, figure out a place to live in society, and yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And it's like it reminds me a lot of Dot Hack, which
I
is like
remember
one of
trying to get into dot hack and I just couldn't.
yeah.
It was too
I
tropey for me.
my problem with now did you watch Dot Hack or did you watch one of the other versions of Dot
I
Hack?
read.
Because there's like 10 or 15 different series to it.
I tried to read the different ones. I'm like, okay, this one clearly isn't the first one. Let me try and find the first one. And I went through
Yeah.
like 7 different ones, and I'm just like, I give up.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Dot Hack slash Sign. That is the first one.
Okay.
And so Dot Hack slash Sign is the one where it's just an MMO in the life of these people playing the MMO. And it's very much like them just going about experiencing an MMO. And it's as if you were playing World of Warcraft for the first time back when Classic came out, when the game was young and nobody knew a whole lot about it, and you're out there exploring it and having fun. It's literally that in the form of an anime. And
That
it's one of
sounds
the most
interesting.
yeah, And it's one of the most beloved anime out there. It's also old enough that I would never fucking set foot anywhere near that anime and watch it because I can't. It's too old. Like it's got that art style where it's like this did not age well, and I would throw it in the trash.
What about something like Fruits Basket or Yu-Gi-Oh or
Okay,
uh, Dragon Ball
Fruits
Z
Basket.
or One Piece?
Okay, first off, One Piece has terrible art no matter what generation it is. I hate the art of One Piece, and it's why I will never watch One Piece all the way through. Because as much as I think it is a very interesting story, and it'd be nice to set aside an entire year of my life just to catch up on it, I cannot stand the art. I watched the full first season, got really fucking invested, and I was like, wow, that was really awesome. Seeing them sail off into the ocean, starting their journey, and it's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm never fucking touching this piece of shit again.
Um,
Literally enjoyed every minute of it, and I will never watch it again because I can't stand the fucking art.
I locked it and then I walked back to
I
the car.
don't like watching things where the girls have waists thinner than my fucking hand and their boobs are bigger than my fucking head. And then their face looks like ditto. No. Never doing it again. That was a nice little vent. But anyway. Oh, wait, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. My dad called me. Do you mind doing another one of those little vents real quick? I'll be right back.
Yes. Yeah, no problem. Um, yeah, I can't watch old anime. Like a perfect example of a good old anime that I loved the fuck out of, but I can never watch again. Gantz. So Gantz. Gantz was so fucking good. Like everything about Gantz was phenomenal. Great story, great concept. Fucking loved it. I will never watch that anime again because it's just so old that I can't stand the art style. And I really wish there were a lot of anime out there where people would pick them up and remaster them. And I know a lot of people say, no, please God, don't remaster them. I like them in their original form. Nah, no, fuck that shit. I can't stand things that are that old in their original form. You can't. I can't do it. Like live action stuff that is old, I can watch that, but anime that's old, oh, yeah. No. Now, granted, there's some anime I can watch that are old, like Akira. Akira is a perfect example of an anime that was done in an art style that is timeless. You can rewatch Akira again and it still looks good because the art was good. But you look back at Gantz and you try to rewatch that and you see that the art was made by a fucking middle schooler. And you just can't rewatch it. It's just, And then you got things that are old like Dragon Ball Z where it's like, this is an old art style, but it was done well enough that I could rewatch it. Or like Death Note. Death Note is an older anime. Bleach is an older anime. But I could rewatch them because their art style was done really well. They put enough production into the art style that it actually holds up. But if I watch something that's got an art style like the original Snow White of the 70s or 60s or whenever this shit came out, I ain't gonna touch it.
I'm back.
Not happening. Perfect time.
I heard you talking about Gantz, and I don't remember what Gantz is, but I'm gonna look it up.
Gantz is the one where a bunch of people die and then are suddenly teleported into a room with a big
Oh,
gigantic black ball.
freaking that thing! I watched the live-action movie on Netflix when we had
Oh
it.
my god. The live action was
Wait,
meh.
no, it wasn't live-action. It was all animated.
No.
What was it? Live-action?
It was live action, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it was live action. Maybe. I don't remember. But Gantz was good. It had a great story and it had a great concept and it was really fucking fantastic. And there's a lot of things that have taken the idea of Gantz and redone it. Like Squid Games is a perfect example of Gantz.
Yeah.
Because in Squid Games, everyone has to keep playing until there's only one left and he gets the prize. It's the same in Gantz for the most part.
I have one
The
word for
group
you.
has to keep playing and playing until they can finally get out. But the thing is, the game doesn't want you to get out. So if you keep going and one person's about to finally escape, on the last moment, that one person is now the target.
Dan gone
And
wrong.
Gantz will never let you escape. And so it's a great concept. It's just so old. I can't rewatch it. I actually tried to rewatch it a couple years ago. I just turned it off. It was sad because I loved Gantz. It was so good.
Do you remember Bleach?
But so what I was saying was, what people need to do is we need people or studios that are willing to remaster anime. And like, I'm not talking about a full-blown Evangelion remaster, because that was fucking insane.
I mean, that's the only thing they can do, though. That's the
Well,
only way to
no.
get people to...
Well, no, because Neon Genesis Evangelion was a remaster and a remake. The whole story's different. Now, granted, I actually really enjoyed the remaster and remake. It got really convoluted near the end, but I will straight up say that convoluted mess in the end of the remake was light years better than the bullshit metaphysical ending that the original had. At least they attempted to make a real story in the remake.
Have you seen the new Trigun?
I need to watch it.
I don't wanna.
I have to watch it. I love Trigun so much that I am so willing to watch a remake just to have more Trigun. And I know it's going to be different. I know the characters are going to have quirks that are not like the fucking original characters, and it's probably going to make me pretty fucking angry. But
They only have one of
here's
the
thing,
ladies.
though. What?
Yep, and they're making her specifically the female love interest. And they become like a duo at the very beginning. It's
Okay,
so stupid.
I don't necessarily hate that.
They got
Not
rid of the
necessarily.
minigun girl.
That's frustrating because she was really cool. But Wormwood is still in it, right?
I don't remember what the other ones... I'm not good with names.
Wormwood is the one with the cross.
Oh,
Big gigantic cross gun.
I think he is, but I'm not sure.
Honestly, as long as Wormwood is in it, I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
if you don't
Wormwood
have
is what I
Wormwood, it's
love
not
most.
Trigun.
Yeah, exactly. It does not matter about the other characters. You don't even have to fucking make Vash the Stampede in it. You can literally just remove Vash the Stampede. Just give me Wormwood gun, and I would be happy with that anime. Because Wormwood was awesome.
Yes, absolutely. He
But
was
yeah,
such a lovable character.
I don't honestly mind remakes, because even though a lot of remakes flounder and are trash, I will always remember that Brotherhood is better than the original Full Metal Alchemist. And because of that, I'm willing to accept remakes and try them out.
Well, it's like when you watch a movie adaptation of a novel. Like, clearly it's going to be different. It's so annoying that it is, but they have to do that because otherwise it's like, oh, well, why even watch the movie when it's going to be exactly like the book? Because we just want to see the thing. And the whole point of making a movie adaptation for a book, in my opinion, is to actually get the audience of the people that were interested in the book to see something that was a movie and like get their, and of course you're not going to be able to have the perfect visuals of like everyone imagines, you know, characters looking differently. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like actually changing the lore and making characters gay just because you want more fan art pandering, you know.
But here's the thing though. And I know you just you just mentioned that right when I was going to say Harry Potter. But hear me out. Lord of the Rings was an almost exact one for representation of the books.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
and
probably
what was wrong
one
with
of the best movies it's one of the best movies that's ever been fucking made. In
Exactly.
existence.
And
And that's a perfect example of why people should just shut the fuck up and and exactly one for one match the books.
But there are
Because
going to
Lord
be
of the Rings
people
did it,
complaining
and
about
it's
Tom
literally
Bombadil.
fucking godsend.
Do you know Tom Bombadil?
Huh? I know Tom Bombadil, and I know he wasn't really in the movies, and that was frustrating because he was very important in the books. But there's always going to be some things that you have to cut out from the books when you make the movie. That's okay.
Yeah.
What's bad is when you literally transform what happened to the book specifically for the movie, like making like why can't I remember his name now? Now I'm thinking his name is Gandalf, and it's not fucking Gandalf.
Aragorn.
No, the guy from Harry Potter.
Oh,
Dumbledore.
Voldemort?
Making
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore gay. Now, granted, we technically knew he was gay before the movies were actually created.
Did we?
But it was in side lore. Because the thing is that before the movies came out, there was actual talk and lore about what the fuck his name is from Fantastic Beasts. The guy that Dumbledore's against. I forget.
I don't know.
Yeah, but the guy that Dumbledore is fighting against, who apparently he has used to be his love interest. We actually knew that while the books were being made.
But I thought the writer
wasn't
lady
the movie.
was against gays or something because there was the whole uproar about, Hogwarts Legacy.
No, so she's against transgender people. That's what it is. She has nothing. She has nothing wrong with people being gay.
What's the difference?
She,
no. But let me.
That's not a difference we're going to go into in the podcast.
Yeah.
Because there is an actual difference, and some people agree with it and some don't. So
I absolutely do not want to touch this subject with a 10-foot pole because as a cis white male, I have no. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say though, we did actually know that Dumbledore was gay prior to the movies, because there was actual talk, info, and lore about Dumbledore and the guy that's in Fantastic
I have a very
Beasts.
important question.
Yes.
Why does that matter?
So it doesn't matter. But
He's a
people
freaking
make it
old
matter.
wizard that teaches the young kid how to do magic. Why does it matter his
Exactly.
sexual preference or what he did, what his hobbies were in his spare time?
There is one very important exclusive reason why it matters a lot.
Don't say fanfic.
No, I won't say fanfic.
Okay.
The reason why is because there is a very large contingent of conservative Christians that think that if you're gay, you're going to fuck children. And that's why.
That's not the same thing, but okay.
It actually is. And that's one of the biggest reasons why that was a problem. And when I say that, I mean that was actually brought up a lot of times when it was introduced he was gay. People
Genders are
actually
not
brought up the
age.
fact that
Okay.
no, I know that has nothing to do with it, and it shouldn't have anything to do with it, but people have the preconception that does have something to do with it. And the problem
Christians don't
is
like
that actually,
wizardry because it's magic, it's dark magic, it's what witches
True.
and wizards do, and connect
That
with
is true.
the demon powers of the underrealm or whatever.
I know.
And I would know because I am a Christian.
Yes.
Don't
No, I
even
know.
touch the cover of the Harry Potter book.
They literally thought
understand.
it was the devil's work. And it was
Yes.
hilarious. It was banned from my school because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's stupid. It's so effing stupid because it shouldn't matter. Who the hell cares if he's gay? It literally does not matter. Just because he's a teacher and he's gay doesn't mean anything at all. But for a lot of people it did, and it's dumb. But yeah, no, it was guessed. It was never officially said yes or no, but it was always hinted at enough that it was obvious that he was gay all along.
I think that's
The
the
movies
best way
just
to
simply
do a
cemented
story,
it.
though, is not to say anything specific and let people come to their own conclusions.
Yeah, because let's be honest, who the fuck cares if he's gay? It doesn't matter. It's not a plot point. Why do we have
Exactly.
to make it so I hate that. What that is that's identity. That's identity politics, and I don't mean that in the sense of bringing up politics or whatnot, but that's like
I
the actual term. It's an
I
identity
understand
thing.
in an actual romantic,
Yeah.
especially for like the main characters, there was like the whole thing with Hermione of like, oh, is she gonna like Harry? Is she gonna like Ron? I'm like,
Yeah.
what if she just
Oh,
likes someone else or whatever? We don't care.
okay.
It's
Don't get me fucking started on that because Ron is the dumbest fucking choice for her, and that pissed me off
absolutely
so much.
Neville's the better
Thank God
choice.
we agree on that. Ron was a terrible choice. I'm not saying Harry was the best choice. I'm
No,
just saying
Harry's a
Ron was
worse
literally
choice,
the worst.
obviously.
Yeah. I mean, she could have literally gone and fucked Cho if all I care. Just not Ron.
I mean, I do like that Harry did get with several other, not like get with them, but like there were other story arcs with other females
Yeah.
in the different years of high school, because that's exactly what high school is like. You
Exactly.
date someone for a little bit and then things don't work out and you move on.
Yeah. Now, granted, I really dislike how they did Cho dirty because that was messed up.
Yes, I understand that. Again, this is one of those things that I haven't read. I've only watched, but I do know that there is controversy about what I can't really help with this conversation, but I
Yeah.
do somewhat understand what you're talking about.
Well, basically, Harry liked Cho, Cho liked Harry, but something happened that caused Cho to distance herself from Harry. I don't remember what it was, but because of that distancing, she then met Cedric, and she fell in love with Cedric, and then Cedric dies. Is a very important pivotal point in one of the books. And I don't care about spoiling this because these books are over 20 years old.
Right.
So Cedric dies, and then because Cedric dies, Cho just can't get over the fact that Cedric died. Even though Harry was with Cedric, and Harry tried to protect Cedric, and he just wasn't able to because he's a fucking kid, and a goddamn fucking dark arts master killed him. But after that happened, Cho just could not look at Harry the same way and just distance even more from him, and ended up marrying.
Oh, she like
somebody
blamed
else.
him?
Like
Or-
blamed him, and it's
Wow.
like,
I mean, I get it.
and
but
then
like,
and then he happens to find out that his best friend's sister has tits and falls in love with her. Now, granted, that is exactly how it works in high school.
Oh yes,
But
absolutely.
still.
The actor for Jenny played her character perfectly, because I remember like watching
Did.
her in the movies and then like,
Yeah.
oh, she likes him, but she doesn't want to admit it.
Of course she likes.
And Harry's a
He's
dumb
Harry
idiot
Potter.
boy
He
that's just
doesn't
like, oh, hello.
Yep.
I remember this scene so vividly, because she comes downstairs, realizes Harry's there. Harry just says hi because he's just one of the family, and her
And he
eyes
runs.
get so
She runs.
big.
Yep. Yep. Oh my god, it's funny. But I
Oh,
mean,
it's
Ginny
great.
was a terrible choice as well for Harry. That never should have happened. But at least it focused on the very realistic trope of the best friend fucking his other best friend's sister, which is very much exactly how it happens in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the best friend's house every summer, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, your sister's pretty cute, and you get together.
Exactly.
Not like that's ever happened to me before, but yeah.
You've never looked at your cousin and
No, I
realized
meant
that they're a
fucking my
woman?
best friend's sister.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
Have
But
you
yeah.
ever seen Bleach?
I have seen Bleach.
I
Guess
I
which-
liked Bleach
guess-
up to the point where they went
Oh, hold on.
into the go.
Hold on. Don't finish that sentence. I want you first to guess when I stopped watching. And then I'm
When-
going to guess when you stopped watching.
I'm not sure how much, but I'm assuming like when they started doing all the different hollow things with like people getting special abilities or whatever.
All the numbered masks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where that was actually not when I stopped. I stopped after that though. But was that
Okay.
when you stopped?
I stopped watching or I actually didn't watch it at all. I read it.
Oh, okay.
So I
How far
remember
did you
reading
read?
the first part where Ichigo and his friends get abilities and whatnot, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to like, oh, there's actually already an organization, and they're so much cooler and better than all of you. And I'm just like, okay, why? And then they went into
Yeah.
that world, and I'm like, I'm gonna see where this goes. And the whole thing with Aizen and like
Mhm.
everything's just so over the top. And I'm like, okay, this is just completely pointless at what Ichigo should
Yeah.
not survive any of this. And then it like gets to the
Nope.
end and he's like, oh, he's part hollow. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting, I guess. I really want to just go back to the normal high schoolers, fight and stuff and whatnot.
100% agree.
And then
The
he
first
like
season
puts
of
on the
Bleach was the
mask and
best.
takes off the mask, and then they fight other hollow people. And I'm just like, how many times are you gonna do this flip flopping nonsense where he like gets stronger by putting on the mask, taking off the mask, then putting it back on,
Yeah.
and then taking it off again, and then putting it back on again, and then taking it back off again?
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Just why?
Yep. I agree with you that the first season where he's just like being a spirit detective hunting hollows was definitely the best season. Definitely the best.
Where it was just the one Reaper girl that was hanging
Yeah,
out.
him and the girl just hunting hollows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. See, that's why I think shows like Madoka Magica are just so fucking legendary. Because they understand that you can't keep that up for much longer than 1 to 2 seasons and just end it.
I mean, the easy way to like keep going is to have those characters, build up a community where it's literally just this neighborhood watch, where it's literally just a group of friends that try to do the
Yeah.
best they can, but they eventually die or something happens that it's too big for them and they have to move on, or they eventually just can't keep surviving anymore and they have to either take it to the final fight or whatever. But like just drawing something out
Yeah.
because it's popular is so stupid and annoying. And I know that it's different here in America from how it is over there in Japan, with like
Yeah.
serials just going on forever because it's popular and you can keep making money and you have to keep fighting to be popular
Yeah.
in order to keep doing what you love. I understand that, but it gets to a point where you're literally just beating a dead horse and then you rip off the flesh of the horse and you reanimate it and make it an undead horse, and it's just like this song
Yeah.
and dance is useless.
And then you break off one of its ribs and then you beat the dead horse with the dead rib.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's dead.
Did you? I don't know if it's in the show at all or whatnot,
Mhm.
but did you see anything of the very first Yu-Gi-Oh?
So here's the thing. I have never once watched Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay. Well, I read some of the very first Yu-Gi-Oh, and it has nothing to do with the card game. It has nothing to
Mhm.
do with monsters, and it has nothing to do with any of those annoying side characters. Literally, all it is Yugi, as a kid, discovers his grandpa's, puzzle or whatever, and he makes it, and then he gets possessed by, like, the spirit of the pharaoh or whatever, and he literally
Yeah.
turns into Saw. He, like, he goes up against, like, this guy that plays ping pong, and he's like, now we will play a ping pong battle to the death. And it literally
Mhm.
turns it into a horror game, and he challenges people at their very best, and then they lose. And it's the coolest, creepiest, scariest, and fun thing ever. And
Oh.
then eventually he's like, you have been invited to join the challenge or whatever. And then they get dropped off on this island, like the world's deadliest predator style. And they're giving these like cufflinks and they're giving these cards. And he's like, oh, here, before you go, take your grandpa's deck. And then that's where we get the Yu-Gi-Oh that we're all used to. And I'm like, what is with this significant change? Why? What happened?
I mean, you know why.
Obviously, yeah. But, like, because they have to change it somehow. They have to ramp it up. They have to keep going or whatever. And
No,
then...
no,
yeah.
not at all.
Oh.
No, you know why.
Marketing? So they can sell card game?
That is exactly why Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh,
exists.
jeez.
Why do you think Pokemon has been around for so long? Let me tell you, it's not because it's a show about Pokemon.
Or
It's
the video
because
games.
It sells.
Yeah.
It
The
sells
card game.
games and it sells cards. That's why Pokemon exists.
So annoying. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
highly recommend reading, or I don't know if it is even animated,
That
but
sounds
watching the.
amazing.
Yes, it's so cool. I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember like if there's any other media that I can relate it to, but
Yeah.
basically there's like this one kid that like bullies him or something, and so then he
Huh.
comes back and like challenges that bully in like the coolest and awesome way. And he's like, "What? You're not Yugi. Who are you? Shall we play a game?" And it's like, oh, because they absolutely get what they deserve because they didn't learn anything. These people are
Yeah.
just jerks and idiots or whatnot, and so they
Yeah.
still try to, forcefully, try to play this death game because, like, oh yeah, of course I'll beat your ass over this or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I highly recommend watching. It's so cool.
Yeah. That does sound like it'd be cool. This very much changed drastically from TwitchCon to anime.
Yeah. Well, we're still talking about things that we like and dislike. We briefly stopped off on anime, and so I just briefly wanted to touch on that. Um,
Yeah.
we are at an hour, but there is one
Yes.
final thing that I wanted to just to before we end this.
Yeah, go for it.
I hate any anime where the character points at themselves and says, "I am the hero." I hate that so much. So Dragon Ball, I hate. Naruto,
Mm-hmm.
I hate. Freaking
Mm-hmm.
Fire Force, I loved up until the point where he's like, "I am the hero. I will save you." And then the villain girl just decides to fall in love with him, and it turns into a harem. And I'm like, "You completely ruined it." Just like, why?
Oh
I
my
know that they're
God.
like trying to appeal to children, but like, children don't
Oh my
watch,
God.
TV shows that their parents don't let them anymore. So like,
That kind of anger reminds me of how I felt after the first half of the first season of Sword Art Online. It's like, yay, the main characters are gonna get out, and they're gonna be together. And why is he trying to fuck his sister? Fuck this, I'm out.
no, no, no. His sister's trying to fuck him.
That's right. His sister's trying to fuck him,
Yeah.
and his girlfriend is being molested by a family member.
Yes.
Yeah. I fucking hate what they did.
To
The
to
second
be
half of
fair,
that.
that did end pretty good though.
I mean, it ended really well, and then Gun Gale started, and we never see her again.
Yeah.
You do not see Asuna anymore during Gun Gale. She's
No.
like maybe got like a handful of little moments and everything, but for a couple that
Well,
are
they tried to turn it into
apparently
a slice of life.
well, no, not even that. Because as much as they're supposed to be together, they like never talk, never hang out, never do anything.
Well,
There's
the
no
point is
lovey-dovey.
that he's being called in to be a part of this online video game, and he's like, "Only you can do it. This is a secret op mission. You can't tell anyone." And he's just like, "Okay." So we get to see the dark video game about seeking out the killer and
But
hunting it down, and then there's a new female protagonist because apparently Asuna wasn't good enough.
but Sparrow, the man married and had a kid with his girl in the game in the first fucking season. Where is she? Hate that so much. I liked their dynamic. I actually liked the romantic dynamic because it's so rare for an anime to actually show real romance between
Exactly.
two characters.
Because
And
they,
then they had to fucking go back to the Japanese norm of ruining that.
yep, because they complement each other and they actually built together, and it was perfect. And then they ruined it. I understand. How do you
And I
feel
would-
about Danmachi though?
Well, I'd like to really quickly end that conversation with something that I very strongly believe in, and that is that after watching so many anime, I've come to the realization that the Japanese are just a bunch of cucks.
Basically.
They don't like finishing and following through. Okay, now I'm done.
They just want the sex highlights or whatever, and then
They want to
no
see, not
commitment.
touch. Yeah, no commitment, see, not touch. It's like
Yeah.
you're all a bunch of fucking cucks.
Basically.
God damn it. Okay, so what were you asking if I've seen?
Don Machi, which is how do you pick up girls in a dungeon, or is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Which again is like designed to look like this harem or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's literally about just a normal dude, learning how to use his powers and getting stronger or whatnot.
Really?
Yes, I would say that it's almost like a spiritual successor to Sword Art Online.
Really?
And there actually is like a side story that I don't remember what it's called, but it's from the perspective of the girl. And basically, there's all her story with her guild. And yeah, I loved reading both of them. I haven't watched
You need
any
to
of them.
you need to send me a link to both of those two.
Okay, I
Because
will.
I thought it was just another bullshit harem and ignored it.
Oh,
So if that
no,
is the
it's
case, if it's
so
not a harem,
awesome.
I am totally into it.
Do you know Goblin Slayer?
Goblin Slayer is amazing.
It's sort of like that.
Might have gone a little bit too far in raping the cleric, but it was amazing.
Well, the first episode was over the top, and then the rest of everything else is just
No,
sort
I'm
of...
talking about the cleric, the one that's like 3/4 of the way through.
I
Her.
don't remember. I mean, I remember there
There's
is
like a
like
priest-
one
there's a
lady
priest
that's
that I
barely
think-
wearing any clothes, and she's like,
Yes, her.
I had this terrible backstory. I'm like, then why aren't you wearing more clothes?
And her terrible backstory is she was literally like raped and molested by goblins for like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And that's why she falls in
Other
love with
than
Goblin Slayer.
that, it was a great anime,
Yeah,
and I need to watch the second season.
but yeah, having
know what I
like
need
a
to
main
watch?
character that just sort of drives the story, and it's like this is the story
Yeah.
about him and what he's going through, and he's
Yep.
gonna do stuff no matter what, and people just come up alongside him. He doesn't get like a
Yep.
harem or like a group of people that are like, oh my
He's
goodness, I
literally
love
just
being
doing his
around
shit,
you.
and everyone has to do it or just get out of the way.
Yeah,
And I love that.
that
It
is
makes
why
me think a lot of Shield Hero.
I
during
don't.
his first
Yes, Shield Hero is a good one.
But
What's
Shield
the
Hero
anime
during
that
the second
Aqua is
season
from?
Is ass. Huh?
What's the anime that Aqua is from?
Aqua is from Konosuba, which is also really fantastic.
I hate Aqua with a fiery passion.
Yes, I hate Aqua too. Chris is always better.
It's the reason why I don't want to watch that, because I feel like that's just all it's going to be, even though I'm pretty sure that the other characters are more normal. It's literally
So-
3 girls and 1 guy, and I'm just like, I
No,
know where this is
no,
going.
They are not normal at all. None of them are normal. In fact, I would probably say the main character is the only fucking normal one there.
Okay,
With
so
that-
it's...
As much of a pervert as he is, he's actually the only fucking normal one. Everyone is fucking insane. The good thing though is that Aqua is constantly shit on, and everything bad happens to Aqua, and
Okay.
you feel so wonderful seeing it.
So it sounds like Ari Fioretta from Commonplace to World's Strongest, about that one
Mhm.
guy that loses his arm because all it can do is transmute stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he eats all of the monsters that he finds, and he gets stronger, and then he meets a vampire girl, and then they go on an adventure. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's really good. It's like
That
a really
sounds like
dark and
some
gritty...
really fucked up dark version of Inuyasha.
Sorta? No, I would say that
Yeah, one guy that
Inuyasha's...
sucks in the monsters with his hand.
Inuyasha is very much one of those traditional animes that I would almost relate it
Yeah.
more to like Spirited Away or
Mm-hmm.
Ranma One Half, which I love Ranma One
Mm-hmm.
Half. I read all of it. It was so good.
God.
Ari Fioretta is basically like this dark, gritty survival where this guy just like is like his entire classroom gets isekai'd, and then they get taken to this place and they're given magical powers, and all he can do is like some very light transmutation, and so
Yeah.
he basically goes through this like Edward Elric arc where his classmates betrayal him. He falls into the pit. He has to fight to survive. He kills and eats monsters like he's literally reborn again.
So it's kind
slime,
of like
basically.
Shield Hero. In a lot of that sense, what happens to him.
Yes, exactly like Shield Hero.
That's
mixed
another
with...
one you're gonna have to. That's another one you're gonna have to link to me in DMs.
Okay, I have all of these, so we can watch them together.
good.
We need to do
And
movie
last-
night or something.
Last but not least, because it is 1 hour 15, I gotta head in.
Yes.
The last thing I want to say is, did you watch Shield Hero season 2?
I have not seen any Shield Hero. I started
Really?
reading some of it, but I haven't gotten that far.
So this is what I recommend. Watch the first season. It is one of the best anime I've seen.
And then stop.
Fantastic. I love it. Then stop. Never watch the second season. There is no second season. It never continued. People are going to tell you, no, really, there is a second season. You're going to tell them, none. You must be talking about some bootleg backwater season that some
That's how I feel
some
about Sword Art
shit
Online.
company made. It's impossible. It never finished season 1, and then just walk away, because there is no season 2. That's how bad they fucked it up. That's how
jeez.
bad they fucked it up. And it breaks my heart because that was my favorite anime.
That's how I felt about Ruby.
Yeah.
You know Ruby,
Anyway,
right?
I gotta go inside.
Okay, yeah.
I've been parked for 15 minutes.
Yep, let's call it.